Crossroads Times. We are so much at the edges of personal and collective change. We know that. And Mercury as a being, as an archetype, as an astrological character, is one of the greatest allies we can have at this time. You'll see why. Love this quote from William Blake. In the universe, there are things that are known and things that are unknown. And in between them, there are doors. And Mercury is definitely seen as the god between, the god of liminal spaces betwixt and between. So what a great ally right now for all of us. So one of the reasons I decided to do this masterclass, one is the astrology right now is really amazing, and let's lean in and navigate in an empowered way, but also because of the times we're in. And this quote from John O'Donohue: "We have fallen out of belonging. Consequently, when we stand before crucial thresholds in our lives, we have no rituals to protect, encourage, and guide us as we cross over into the unknown." It's one of the deepest losses and suffering of our times is our people do not know how to navigate edges and thresholds and the profound changes that we're in right now. And Mercury as an archetype, Hermes as an archetype, is an amazing ally to give us that support to cross those thresholds and to guide us as we cross over into the unknown. So let's talk a bit about archetypal Mercury-Hermes. Mercury is the Roman name of the god. Hermes is the Greek name, but there's a lot of history in both of these characters from centuries before Greek and Roman times. Everything is interconnected. Human and other than human, visible and invisible, sky and earth. There is this deep connectivity between all things. It's a perennial truth from many spiritual traditions. And an archetype comes with this. The definition: arca, first, and type, model. Energies that have been present since beginning of time and are inherent in our collective existence, often found in the imaginal realm, images, poetry, metaphor, etc. Archetypes are powerful presences and they show up in multifaceted ways. So some of the ways of looking at Mercury in the astrology chart and its link as an archetype is the communicator. Many of us know the winged messenger that went between the gods and humans, with his winged hat and his winged booties and his staff, caduceus. Also, it's a storyteller archetype, that really weaves new realities through the power of story and narrative. And also, this is an archetype that's the bridge maker between the worlds. In the myth, we'll say this in a bit, I'll say it now, is Hermes was the psychopomp. One of the functions was the conductor of the souls between the dead souls into Hades, into the realm of the underworld. So there's this whole bridge maker between the worlds, and there's this quality of communication and storytelling as Mercury as an archetype. I love Pythia Pia, PA. She did this fabulous book. I want to honor. Where did she go? She's hiding on Mercury retrograde. She's hiding from me right now. And she calls Hermes the archetypal edgeman. I love that. Okay. So some of the qualities of this archetype, and as I'm saying this, recognize in yourself, we'll be exploring where this might be present in your own Mercury experience. The ability to move across thresholds, to bring together separate components to form something new, to learn to transmute inner darkness and chaos. That's part of the underworld function of Hermes, going into the dark, into the underworld, and then being able to come back, to convey truths from the unseen realms. Mercury or Hermes wore his invisible helmet and went into different realities. Intuitive and subtle knowledge that we can carry with this Mercury archetype in us, to unify the world within and the world without, bridge maker, and to bridge between conscious and unconscious realms. This is really key. Mercury in your own chart, as we talk about it, can help you mediate between your known self and your unknown self. So let's talk a bit about Mythic Mercury, the winged messenger god. You can see this in this image of, the caduceus and the winged helmet and the winged booties. So Mercury, because it is a character that's very diverse and multifaceted, has many levels to this mythic character. It's a messenger god. It's the eternal child, the puer puella. In the myths of Mercury, there's a lot of like childish prankster character that just won't grow up, okay? The trickster, He's the god of thieves, okay, pulling a fast one. He's a traveler. He's the god of travelers and crossroads. And he's a way shower. He's a soul guide, a psychopomp who escorts the dead into the underworld. He's also a healer and an alchemist. So there's many levels of energy that come with this mythic character. And as you're looking at your own Mercury, you might see that there's levels of these characters inside of you, or you have an aspiration to develop more of a facet of Mercury in yourself. Okay, and then let's talk a bit about the astrological Mercury. So, Mercury, it's the process of how you think and communicate. But remember, with the mythic and archetypal realms, it's a multi-realmed level. It's not just your strategic mind, it's your revelatory mind, it's your intuitive mind, it's many levels of thinking and communicating. A healthy expression of Mercury is you have a flexible and curious mind, and you're able to express yourself authentically. When your Mercury is in an unhealthy experience, and that happens to all of us because we're human, you can get into that trickery of Mercury, the deceptive and tricky communication. Many times it's fueled by our survival strategies. So there's no blame, but we kind of hide, or we kind of do a fast one because we're trying to protect ourselves in our mind. But it's also, the mind can get severed from the emotions and senses. There's a quality of unhealthy Mercury that is sort of compartmentalized, only the mind, and then disconnected from emotions and senses and other ways of knowing.